Hello, people. Can you hear me? Say yes, 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 yes. Hi, guys. Hi, everyone who is excited to be here. I see all your comments. Hi, guys. Hi, guys. Are you here? Let me know that you can see me and that you can hear me in the comment section. If you can see me and you can hear me, say yes, 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 yes. I see you already. Yes, guys. Yes, 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 yes. Amazing. Yay. Help me see my dance. Woo! Hi, Omolola. Hi, I'm your. I can't start. I can see all your yeses. Steve for patience. I see all my people in here. Hi, Ella. Hi, Tella B. Hi, everyone. If I start, if I start saying hi, 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 I won't be able to see anybody. Hi, guys. I am thoroughly happy, excited to have you here tonight. So, our guest is here, by the way. You know, Lady T is just chilling. She'll be up. She'll be up in the next few. I am. I want you guys to you know how we roll. If you have ever been in any of my sessions, this is Deeper with YBB. These are reinvention conversations, typically like having a conversation with someone in their head. So all of the things that you imagine that you want to ask or that you want to know, these conversations are those types that you can, be free to express yourself. And when I say you, of course, you can write, "Hey, Shakira, I see you." I see you guys. So happy to be here tonight. I'm just going straight into it. I can see people joining. Get your friends on, get people on, send the link. Just copy from the what's that, the browser, and send it, share with your people. So, like I said, we have Toyosi Etim-Effiong here. She's not only a personal friend of mine, but you know that she is a powerhouse. All of her details and all of those things, if you go to the pages, you would see tonight is like going to be as fluid as possible. So I have ground rules. First off, is that if you have any questions, don't wait. Just type everything in the chat box. At some point, I will just be taking them as we go, because you know how these conversations go. You don't necessarily know where you're going and you don't want to miss anything. So yeah, pretty much that is how we start today. So, guys, can you see? Can you see who is here? Welcome to your seat. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Unmute your mic. Are you okay? Yes, I think that you are. Yes, I can hear you
You've
now.
unmuted me
Go ahead.
now. Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
I
It's good to be
apologize.
here, my baby.
Hi, my darling. How are you?
I am blessed. I am tired, but I'm good.
Oh, I
I'm
mean, it's a
good. I'm good.
Friday.
I'm good.
Everyone's happy to. Can you
Yes,
see
it's
their
a Friday.
comments? Can you see comments?
I can
Guys,
see
please say hello to.
comments.
You can't see. Why
So
can't you see comments?
I can see the comments now. I can see the comments
Yay! Everybody say
now.
hi,
Hi,
Lady T.
everyone.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Up today, we're going to hear gist, and we're also going to hear proper stuff, proper stuff. Like, how
Yeah.
does this go? I want to go back to. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We are ready. So, I mean, obviously, she's tired, but don't worry. All this tiredness is going now. He's going in a little bit. Okay, guys. So,
Oh Lord.
I'm gonna I'm gonna try and make this, as like I said, as easy as it can be. Give me a second. I want to make sure that it is properly branded. That's intentional. Can you guys see anything? I need to be sure that I'm. Yeah, that's what I wanted to put there. So,
I
okay.
got you.
Yeah. Okay, so this conversation is about vision to reality. We're going straight into it, guys. And this is what I mean by straight into it. I'm going to be having this conversation like, it was in my bedroom, so that you can hear how it really goes. Now, Chelsea, I mean, I know that you are building this whole media company. You have been doing this for, I mean, of course, you're focused on the media industry, but this cuts across generally. And we're talking about bringing vision to reality, really being able to tackle obstacles and challenges along your way. But it's about bringing, when we say vision, it's like something in your head. First off, how did you know where you wanted to be, what you wanted to do, and how did it form in your head? So sometimes, I mean, I hear people say things like, I don't know my purpose. I don't really know if this is what I want to do, but this is what I'm doing now. So, how do you first off form ideas in your head, and how do you know this is the one?
Okay, so first off, I want to say YBB, well done on just being consistent. Like this has been you. This is the you that I met, and I'm getting you, right? And I love when we have these conversations. To maybe turn off the comments on my own side so that I don't get distracted. But I really
There's
do
no
love
way
our
to do that. Just don't
conversations, and I
look.
said to my
Don't
community
look.
yesterday.
Just don't look at them. Just be talking
I
like
said to my
ignore them.
community yesterday, I said YBB is one of the people I have my most honest conversations with, right? She's one of the people that I have honest conversations with. And I thank God that I am blessed with people. And you are one of those for having me on this show. And thank you for being consistent. So in terms of envisioning this path that I'm on now, it wasn't always like this. Right. And I just want to be sure you can hear me.
Yes, we can. I mean, it's, pitchy in some places, but I mean,
Okay.
I hope that we have the right, all of
It's
the
pitchy.
technology. Yeah, like the technology, it goes off and on, but I'm hoping that it gets better. So if you do have
Oh,
another,
okay. Okay.
yeah, if you do have something else, it'd be nice to, yeah. Those are the challenges with these things, but we move.
Okay. I think, yeah, I think this is anyway, we stick to it. So it wasn't like this for me. I've been very vocal about my journey. I've been very vocal about just the path that has led me here. I sort of always want to. First of all, I was one of those people that they used to write on the list of noisemakers in class, right? Like always talking, always making noise, always just being where there's, in quotes, like chaos in school. Like I wanted to be in the mix, in the middle. What's happening? And I remember one incident where people got punished and I wasn't there. And the teacher kept asking, "Are you sure Toyosi was not with you people? Are you sure Toyosi was not with you people?" So that was the kind of just that's how I kind of grew up and the personality that I had. Are we good? You're giving faces. Are we good?
I mean, no, I'm here. I'm good. I'm good. We're here.
Okay, okay. Yeah, so always wanting to be in the mix, always wanting to be in the know what is happening, what's being a part of what is even happening. And so I grew up with that. And strangely, I now found myself in a bank. And then not just in the bank, but in audit department, which for those who know, the audit department is, in my opinion, quite boring, right? It's just like same old, same old. We're following systems and processes. I'm not even like, why are we doing like systems? I'm only just beginning to accommodate systems and processes, So I knew that I was in the wrong place from the jump, and it took a lot of just soul searching to find out what I was supposed to do. And I didn't do that on my own. I did that with people around me. I had friends, and I asked them. I said, "What do you think my ideal career is?" And it's interesting because everyone that I asked said something about media. So something related to media and entertainment. One said, "Oh, you should be singing. I think you should sing because you have a good voice." Another said, "I think you should be on radio because you speak so well." Another said acting. And I don't think anybody said journalism, but I just gauged myself and just thought about who I was. I didn't see myself really being an actress, right? I don't really have the patience for sets. Those sets can be just long for those who know what I'm talking about. And I was not going to start singing. Like, I beg, maybe later, maybe we'll not start with the singing. But I'd always liked Amanpour. I'd always liked like Oprah. I'd always liked like even Wendy Williams. So it was how to merge that whole entertainment and journalism for me. And then I decided to study broadcast journalism. And from there, it just sort of took off. I knew, I felt like I was in the right space. I did everything with ease. When it came to journalism and asking questions and interviewing people, I had a show in New York. It came naturally. I never struggled. There was no pause. It was just always flowing. And so I knew that I had found the right space. But then I now had to do some more soul searching to figure out my space within the space. So I'll stop there for now.
Interesting. I think that is a similar story. And for you listening, it's always a case of, it's very interesting. It's always a case of what you are almost like naturally inclined to do, something that gives you like it's ease. It's so if you're in a space, first off, we're talking vision, guys. First of all, we're not talking anything too big. It's just vision, first of all. And we started with how do you even have these ideas in your head? But something that you said, I'm going to latch into that. And you said something about you asking people. These are things that we heard later. So these are things that are sort of like in vogue, should I say, now that there is social media and there's coaches and all of those things all over the place that say to you, oh, if you want to ask people, check with that. But at that time, how did you just know? Let me ask people. And how were you sure that those were the right people to ask? How do you know? Because a lot of people, when I say ask the people around you, they're like, people around me, like who, my colleagues or like my family. Sometimes family doesn't know you. So how are you able to make sure that you're asking the right people the right questions? That's first off.
So I started off with older people who knew me. So I didn't start with like, just like friends or mates or all of that. I started with like some older friends, family. Do you understand? People that I think for me, it was people who I believed knew me and wanted the best for me. So you can always tell when someone is genuine towards you.
Right.
And those were the kind of people that I was intentional about talking to. So people who had been asking, one person is coming to mind a lot. And this is somebody who had been asking, like, what do you want to do? Are you happy where you are? Just questions like that. So again, I was blessed to have people like that in my life. And then I asked them, and then casual friends as well, like, okay, guys, we're going to the cinema, we're going to watch a movie, all of that. People like that, I asked as well, because you're around me a lot. I expect that you have an opinion of me. I know we try not to have opinions of people, and we don't advise that you have opinions of people like that or strong opinions. But people would have an opinion of you if they spend a lot of time around you. And so you imagine spending a lot of time around me, we're laughing, we're kicking, we're having fun, we're laughing. And then I say I'm an internal auditor. I mean, I for one will be like, this your job path. I don't know about this path that you're on, if it was me. And so yes, I took their feedback on board. And their feedback also spoke to something in me.
Already.
Their feedback also resonated with me. So it was not like strange. They didn't say, come and be a hunter. And I'm like, hunter Bawo. It resonated with something in me.
So, Toyosi, where I'm going with this is really it's tough. It's a tough, I don't know what has happened over the years. I'm not even sure if it's 2020 because we blame everything on 2020, right? I'm not sure if it's 2020 that happened that just changed the trajectory for so many people. So there's some people that were already in a place where they were comfortable with, or there's just some people that were just, let me just look for the next best thing to do, or people that have just not been able to evolve, who have just been in a particular place for long and they feel like I can do more than this. I don't even know what that more is, but I'm just comfortable doing this for now. So that's the place of vision. How do you how do you visualize? How do you start having a vision? So my question will really be around, how did that good media happen? Because okay, we hear the story of, oh, I was in my place of calling. Well, I don't know these things. I was in my place of comfort, and I ask people, and they say, "Oh, you should be doing this," and I say, "Yes." Let me start looking for a job in that area. Okay, this is not even about job. This is not even about. This is just even about. Okay, I want to do something. I want to give myself to something. I want to be in a place where it matters. How do I begin? What do I? How do I sit down and say, "This is it," or "This is how to start"? Like, how did
So
that journey?
for me, right, it started with me being still. It started with me just taking stock of my environment, asking myself, this thing that I'm doing, how do I feel about it? What is happening? I felt deep sadness when I was at the bank. I was so unhappy. I kept trying to change departments to like corporate comms or like corporate affairs, where they do activities at the end of the month or they at the end of the year. There's something. I kept trying to join departments like that, but it was not happening. But I knew that I was not where I was supposed to be. There was just a knowing. Sometimes I feel like it's just a knowing. It's just a restlessness. I was unhappy. It was showing at the job. In fact, it got so bad that my manager had to pull me aside and ask me, what do you really want to do? So again, I'm just very thankful for the people that I had in my around me then. But he had seen that I was not happy. There was no joy in what I was doing. As in, so you finish the 9 to 5, and then at 5 o'clock you become a happy person. We've seen things like I don't remember how it goes, but something about, if you do what you love, you will never have to work a day in your life. Something along those lines. Because you enjoy doing what you're doing. You enjoy it. It gives you joy. So it's not like work like that. So that was pretty much what it was for me. I had to leave. I had to save myself.
So when you left, so I'm asking for how you transitioned. So how did you just grow in what it is that we do? How did that good media happen? Like, you were just there and you just said, "Oh, this is what I'm doing." How? How? How did you know that? Okay, for instance, this thing that you have said, this thing that you have said, you could have easily transited into another corporate comms job and you would have been happy and would have been okay. Oh, okay. But because, so I want to know the journey. How did you now? Okay, I was struggling. So some people are at peace where they are, but there is more.
Yeah.
I want to talk about visioning, how you can sit and decide that even if there's nothing wrong, you're in a good place, right? Or you don't have to be in a bad place to So that's the conversation.
So for me, I took the first step. And the first step was leaving where I was. I moved to a space where I was happier. And happiness now has a connotation that I'm very careful with. People, I just want to be happy. I just want to be happy. Maybe I should use the word satisfied. There was a deep satisfaction in my belly. It was not a heady, flighty happiness, like you're happy on a roller coaster. No, it was like a deep satisfaction within me when I held a microphone for the first time. I was interviewing somebody for my school project. This is me after degrees, right? BSc, MSc, all of that. And then I'm coming to do a diploma, a 1-year diploma, and I'm excited to be holding a microphone, to be interviewing people, talking about just different things, right? So there was a deep, there was a knowing within that I was in the right space and I was doing the right thing. And then it started to evolve. So that first step led to opportunities. By the time I was done with school, it's so interesting. I had not even graduated when I got my first job. So that was when
So you went back to school? Is that what you're saying?
And I went back to school. Yes. I didn't state that explicitly. I apologize. I went back to school. I went to study broadcast journalism. I was I think it has changed a bit. There's always the debate between going to school or getting hands-on experience. But I don't even know if I still like it, but I like school. Let me just say, I like like four walls of the educational system and just learning the theoretical aspect and then going into practicals. So I was in school and Chibok happened, the girls were abducted, and there were rallies all over the world. And then there was a rally in New York. And when I heard that there was going to be a rally in New York, I was like, I should cover this, right? We didn't have any projects. There was no school projects. There was nothing happening. I just said, I have to be there. I have to interview people. I have to ask questions. I have to, like, I just have to be there. And so I asked a classmate if she could man the camera for me. I was like, okay, sure, let's go. And we got to Union Square. I was interviewing people, all of that. And then afterwards, I decided to just create a package. Like I put it together, all the interviews, I put them together, and then I put it on YouTube. And then I shared with, I think it was Bella Niger, and then I think it was Linda Ikeji, and those different blogs then. And that's how somebody from Sahara Reporters, but their news desk, saw it and reached out and was like, hey, are you in New York? I didn't even know that Sahara Reporters was in New York. I thought they were in Nigeria as per all the things that they were doing, you know. But she was like, are you in New York? We would like to meet with you. I had not graduated. I had not, like, I did not have my CV was not updated. It was just, I guess it was supposed to be.
You know
and
what
then
you're
I got to
saying?
Sahara.
Before you go ahead, I think I need to stop you right there and sort of like highlight how powerful what you just shared is. And you know, there's so many times we hear conversations and we just reel over it. What you just shared for me is like a deal breaker for how you vision or how you transit into your vision by yourself, is giving yourself the room to become. Like, because what happened in that moment was that you could have seen that thing and said, okay, oh, this looks nice. But you went an extra mile. I mean, why would you decide I want to go and cover it? As who? I just want to understand. As what? Who are you? Are you BBC? Are you CNN? No. Then no. You just decided that, you know what, I want to cover it. What gave you the audacity? It is that when, you know, we're in a place of, you know, when we're in a place of, should I say, newness, right? Things happen to us or things occur to us. It is our responsibility to take action. So if you had sat there, nothing would have happened and everything would have been okay. And you wouldn't have felt like you missed anything. It would have been okay. But the fact that it came to you, but you permitted yourself to receive it, not just to receive it, to act on it, the extra mile. So when you now even acted on it, it wasn't enough. It was like, people need to know, they need to see, I need to get this thing out there. A lot of us are complaining, are saying, I don't know what to do, I don't know how to, whatever. Every day, things are occurring to you. You're sitting on it, you're sleeping on it, you're eating your seeds, you're doing nothing with them. And then you expect that, you know, one magic from somewhere will happen. It's never going to happen. It is in the place of permitting yourself, not just to dream, but to open yourself to your vision and to become. Like you had to. I mean, that for me was so powerful, because that was almost like what happened. That's what happened. Like you were, first of all, okay, you start searching. Oh, I like this, I like that. Let me search online. Oh, maybe it's today. Maybe it's beans I like. No, it's dodo. No, it's rice. No, it's French. Then when you now decide, okay, it's French, and then you now see something somewhere, you have to give yourself to the process. So that's what you did. And for me, I think that's a starting point for this conversation in its entirety. So please go ahead. What happened with the Sahara people? Like, so you got a job. Like, what are the odds? These are really very powerful. You know, we take these things for granted, but they are very, very powerful.
Oh, no. I'm not,
grace. Oh, it is not, it is that there was action. It's not just, it's not faith without, I mean, you've got to move. You've got to do
and they
something.
saw something. They saw something.
And,
I was not in my room when they called me.
No, but there was excellence in there.
Yes, absolutely.
Why didn't you put it on
absolutely.
Yemi and kids, children of the world? Why didn't you decide, oh, let me just put this on? Why was it the blogs at the time that were trending? So there's something about marketing and branding. You cannot just faff around and say, oh, let me just be looking. It's not going to happen. Please go ahead.
So Sahara happened, and I was in Sahara for about 2 years before I moved back to Nigeria. And of course, coming back to Nigeria, I wanted to toe that same line. I wanted to be in that space, do my own thing, express my creativity, and just earn a living off this path. And so I started to volunteer. I actually volunteered with people. I did a lot of free work. And I have to say this here, because it's easy for people to hear things like this and just to be like, it cannot happen for me, right? I feel like everybody should, and like we've said, just give of yourself first.
Yeah.
This generation needs to learn, and maybe let me not even speak about generation. People just need to learn how to. People just need to learn how to serve. You are giving of yourself. You want to learn. So it's not even that they are using you. Sometimes it's allow yourself to go through that process where people are telling you to do things that on a normal day you probably will not want to do, right? But that's what I was doing. I served.
Allow yourself to be used.
Volunteered.
Is that what you just said? Allow yourself to be used.
Allow yourself to go through the process.
No, but you know that the thing is, if there's no usefulness, then there really would be nothing to use. How about that? So it is okay.
And that's how,
yeah.
and that using makes a demand. It places a demand on the things that you carry that you did not know you carried.
Yeah.
It places a demand on just your time, your values,
your virtues,
what
as well.
you are capable of doing, your virtues. It places a demand on it, and suddenly you realize, oh, I can actually write a 1,500 word piece in 30 minutes. Oh, I can actually edit my thing myself. Like, I don't need to get an editor. Because of just the different things and places I found myself in, I'm able to do so many things right now. Like, I can run a one-man show, set up my camera, edit, sync the sound with audio, just things that are in my own space. I'm able to do those things, create graphics, create the cover of for my YouTube, whatever it is. I'm able to do those things because I gave of myself to people. I used the opportunities that I had to grow and to learn. And so, long story short, after volunteering with people, after working in different places, some one-man businesses, I decided to take the leap. And someone had been telling me for a while, set up your own thing, but it didn't feel like the right time. And again, that's okay. I feel like sometimes we need to catch up. People see us much more than we see ourselves initially. And it takes time for us to catch up to that vision that they have of us. But when we get there, there's no turning back. There's no turning back. And so I got to the place where I was like, I will set up this company. I will run this company, and we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes.
So, this is like your, should I say, beginner story. I feel like there are some people who are already, in that they've already passed that stage of giving, serving, leading, doing all of that. They've given everything. And they're in the process of, how do I bring a vision or a dream to life? So for me, it's now the crucial question of, how did that good media happen? How did you know how to name it? How did you know what it will become, or like what it will be, or how to present it? What did you have to do? What challenges did you go through? And then we now lead into today. But basically, how did it drop in my mind to say, okay, this is what I'm doing, this is how I'm doing it, this is the structure of what it would look like?
Oh, so I didn't structure from the structure is scary. And structure continues to structure. But I knew that I was feeling a gap. There was a gap, right? We started off with, started off with producing. So I produced a talk show. We got licensed by Africa Magic, was shown in 54 countries in Africa. I was like,
wow.
And I tried to do a.
Is it me, or is your sound a bit funny? Is it me, or is your sound a little bit funny?
Hear me?
Guys, can you hear?
Is it
It
better?
sounded a bit wonky in a little bit. Yeah, it's better now.
Can
It
you
sounded a
hear
little bit
me?
wonky. I can hear you now.
Is this
Go ahead.
better? Okay.
Yes, your sound is better.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yes. So I'm not even sure what you heard last, but I said I started off feeling a gap. And then, yes, I had the
Mm,
talk show that got licensed by Africa Magic, that showed in 54 African countries. And then I wanted to move on to a bigger show, a concept that I had in my mind. And I did everything, got the crew and everything, just did everything in that space and put it together. But it wasn't time, really. And not just was it not time, or even though I feel like it was not time, I still learned something through that process. So for me, every experience is a learning curve. There's an opportunity to learn. And
mm,
then I started to go through my husband's contracts and just
mm.
negotiate for him or tell him that, oh, no, 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 don't accept this from these people, all of that. And then I realized that there was a gap in that space in terms of managing talent. Like
You want to
talents
stop? You want to
are,
stop there? Just stop first, because I heard something. So you said that you started going through. Why? Why were you going through his contracts? I just want to. What happened? Why did you feel like you
oh,
needed to
we
go
go through
through?
each other's, no, no, we go through each other's stuff. Like, oh, I'm about to do this project. This
Yeah.
is what they
So for
want
me,
to.
so why did you feel? So when you were looking at it, why did you feel like it was something that you could contribute to?
Because I'm a natural contributor, first of all.
So so
I'm
so
always
that's the
looking
thing.
to
Go
see
ahead.
things
Mhm.
better. Yes, I'm
Fantastic.
always
See,
looking
that's
to
that
make
thing.
things better or see things
This thing that
better.
you just said is the major challenge that most people have. People are too complacent. They are
Mm,
waiting for things to happen. They're not realizing that we're saying the same thing. In the small things is that you are useful and you find value. So because
mm,
you never know whether that is in that your next lies. So sitting faffing around somebody, it's about solving problems. That's what it is. You just told me now that it's in deciding to
yeah,
solve a problem. You just said, you know what? No, no, no. Why should they do this? Why should they do that? That you discovered, you know what? There's a gap here. If you had just looked at it and said, oh, it's fine. Oh, it's okay. No, okay. There are people even ask them simple thing like, what do you think? They say, well, I don't know. What do you think? They will ask you back.
anything you
It is
want, anything you
anything
want.
you want,
Yes, yes.
whatever you are saying.
Applying
Okay.
yourself.
It is applying
Yes,
yourself at every given time because you never know when. It is that there is always a
yes,
demand for that which you have been gifted. That which you have been gifted is not useful to you, it's doing nothing, is lying dormant. So the earlier you begin to use and to gift and to share, the quicker you will be able to find your next, find your gold. Fine, because you just told me now that is because okay, you were going through. Who would have thought something as simple? So they're simple things, but we're working our way to how you found your way to this whole media world that you are changing things, you are shifting things, you are moving things. It started from small things, giving myself to this, adding value to that. You know what? Let me help you with this. No, what? No, this shouldn't be done this way. Let me do it. Like, please share. Continue. I had to stop you there because
yeah,
there was a nugget.
yeah, yeah,
Please go.
yeah. Um, and I'm of the opinion that everything can be better. Like, how do I
Hmm.
put this? Like, everything is progressing and everything is progressive. And so
Yeah.
this is a pen now. Somebody
Hmm.
started off writing on stone with maybe another stone. And then another person thought and said,
Hmm.
maybe we can do things differently. So when I see things, my natural inclination is to improve that thing. My natural inclination is to
Yeah.
make the person feel better. It's not always, I don't want to say it's not always a good thing because I do it with people as well. Like I'm talking to somebody and the person says something and I just want to say,
No.
like,
Go ahead. Yeah.
like you can be so much more. You can be doing so much more. You can be
Yeah.
like, and this Gen Z, in fact,
Please leave
this
us.
will come,
Please leave us
will
out
come
of
to
that.
leave us.
Leave
See,
us. That's not
because
where we're going.
I just remembered something. And again, help me, Lord. Any demand that is placed on you is proof that that thing is in you.
Yeah, let's
It's
go.
proof
Let me write that. I need to
that
quickly
you are
write that. Yeah.
able to carry that thing out.
Yeah.
We are more powerful than we can ever imagine, than we know. And so back to my inclination is to leave things better than I meet them, is to make things better, is to improve the quality of things. And I say these things to myself from time to time. I say I'm a solution provider, I'm a value giver, I'm a life transformer. I am a solution provider, I am a value giver, I'm a life transformer. And so nobody is coming to me with a question and I'm saying, hey, I'm not sure. Even if I don't know, I will link you up with somebody I believe would know. You know, it's not a I don't know, full stop. It's not an I cannot help you. You've brought this to me, it's too big, let's leave it. No, I would always, always try to see it through and always just seek to make things and situations better. And that has helped me, absolutely helped me, because I realized, you know what, let me place a demand on myself and set up a company. Because after going through my husband's contracts and all of that, and then started to help him with his social media and PR and all of that, people, his colleagues, his people in the industry started asking me for the same thing. And so first person asked, second person asked, and I'm like, there's something here. There's something here. And that's really what birthed that good media. There's a demand. And the name That Good Media, I cannot even take any credit for it. I can't take any credit for it. It came. It just came.
It came. Let's go.
It just came. So that's the supernatural angle to this, because if I act like I've done everything in my strength and in my own power, then I'll be here lying. There are several supernatural elements to this, and the name That Good Media and that good everything.
It's interesting. You know, this thing that you have said about it coming, it's also in you listening, in you pausing, in you being still, in you knowing, in you developing your own, should I say, let me call it a gut feel for whoever is out there who's like, okay, they've started again. So let's make it simple for you. It is that, you know, there is just, if you are sensitive enough to grow your inner wisdom, that when something occurs to you, you don't just throw it away. I mean, if you have worked with me or listened to me before, I call it the theory of the left hand. And that is that you meet every information with curiosity and not judgment. And so that when it comes to you, you're like, what is this? You take it and you put it in a place. And that with time, you will know what is useful for. The more you do that, meeting every information, everything that comes to you with curiosity, and then that curiosity is what helps us to receive, helps us to, you know, to be open, helps us to live, to be alive constantly, to be in a state of being present, never absent, just a constant state of being present. That, you know, when things come to you and you just remain curious, you're not saying, this one is not good, that one is bad, this one is that when you receive those things, you know, from curiosity, what will happen is that you are able to better refine with time, with experiences, because the same thing that occurred to you will lead you. It's like an inner knowing, like a wisdom that you just sense, and the more you follow it, the, should I say, the more precise you become. So that when that good media came to you, it was like, this thing sounds good. Over time, you say, yes, it's the one. It's like you're confirming, yes, it's the one. But if it came, you're like, oh, which one is that? I don't know. You may have, you would have truncated a, should I say, a flow of when, what, how. You don't need to ask those questions yet. Just receive it first and wait. The when, the what, the how is in the walking, is in the moving, is in the going. Those things happen only as you receive. It comes only as you receive. As you pause and you receive first and wait and be still. That's what stillness is. Not stillness is not that you are not thinking or you are not doing anything. No, stillness is that you are expectant. You're just there. there, not using your mind to analyze or criticize, or just stay still. Like it's an equilibrium, a standard place of just being still.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you, thank you, thank you. Please go ahead. I'm so excited. This is getting more that go media. You know how our
Yeah.
conversations are going and how they typically go. So, I mean, I feel
Yeah.
like we're almost talking like, so this is how we talk when there's no one there. I like that, it's other people can hear it and can know that there's actually a process. Things just don't happen and there's really no magic to it. There are processes and we can teach and we can show and we can tell.
And I
Right?
have
That's
to
what
say
this
this
is.
here, right? For people watching, you can see this
Mm.
relationship. You can see this relationship between YBB and I. I need you to be intentional about the people that are in your life, the people that
Yeah.
have your ear. For some of us, or some, yes, I'll say us, let me still put myself in there. We need to pray people into our lives. We need to pray certain people into our lives. No jokes. YBB, I shared something recently, right, where I wrote, why is YBB in my life? Right? It's in my journal. And I saw the answers that were there. I have prayed for the right people to be in my life. I don't want to waste time. I don't want to First, I don't want to second guess any relationship anymore. I think I've gone
Yeah.
past that stage of, oh, is this person for me or against me? you know, like
Mm.
I want to be surrounded by people that I know are for me and I'm for them as well. And people that
Yeah.
I know wish me the best. They may not always be right, but I know that whatever they say is coming from a good place and with good intentions. And so just praying the right people into your life, because imagine if somebody has said to me, which one is this one that you want to do? Imagine if a close friend had said to
Yeah.
me, what do you mean you're checking people's contracts? You're negotiating for actors. Oh, Nisha.
You
Do
don't
you
have
know that could
work? Is that one
easily,
work?
you don't have work.
Is that
That that could easily have been somebody's angle. Easily have been
Mm.
somebody's angle. Now imagine if that kind of person had my ear and I respected the person's opinion. It would be a different thing we'll be saying by now. Maybe I'll be working with, I don't know, maybe multi-choice or one of those beautiful companies out
which
there.
is even bad?
It's
But
not,
you will
it's
not
not
know what you're
adding.
missing.
Thank you. Thank you. Do you understand? But I had people
Mm.
who said, go for it. My
Yeah.
husband was like, oh, yeah, like do it. This person has come to meet you. This person has come to meet you. Another person has
Yeah.
come to meet you. Do it. And so I started
Yeah.
off with the people who had come to meet me asking for this value that I was providing, because
Mm.
value attracts the right
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Value
Value
always,
attracts. Yeah.
always attracts the right people. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
these people came, and over time I said, you know what? Let me go and gather more people. Let me go and gather more people. And that's what now even evolved into, oh my gosh, that very first step, imagine. That's what evolved into me saying, you know what? This industry can cross borders. This
Mm.
industry is borderless.
Mm.
Why is everything here? See what has happened with music. Afrobeat is like mainstream now. You go anywhere,
Yeah.
if they're not playing Afrobeats, they are missing out. So why can't that be the same for our content? Why can't that be the same for our films? Because now we have great films coming out of
Yeah.
Nigeria, great stories. And so I started to seek those international opportunities, which is what now led to Essence. Nigeria at
Mm.
Essence. We went to Essence 3 years in a row, and we just preach the gospel of the film and TV industry globally. And this all
Well,
started for me
how did
checking
this happen? Like,
contracts.
seriously, it's the thing, sometimes it sounds like magic because some people will be there thinking it's a lie. You had opportunities, Joe. Maybe it's because this person was already. Where do I know that I'm starting from? How do I even begin? Those things. You are just like global. How? Where? But there's something that you need to say, and I'm going to, preempt it. Is that, for instance, essence didn't just happen. It is that you are. So we're talking about visioning, and there's something about visualizing, and there's things about things that jump at you, but you do not let go of, that you hold on to them and you visualize them and say, you know what, soon at this time, this is going to happen. This will happen for me. Looking at something and saying, it's not that it's just going to happen for me, like things like affirmations, is that I begin to make moves to make sure that it happens for me. And that everything, I create an environment that attracts the
That
opportunities that I
attracts,
the
that
opportunities that I
attracts.
need in my life. So that's what it
Absolutely.
is. So please, you need
Absolutely.
to
So
it's not just that,
it's
you have to tell us, how did you
I
did
would
something.
say, I would say again, please, there's always a supernatural angle to it.
We
The way
understand. Yes.
the way why we be saying you did something. I think yeah, so there's that element. But it is, and you're right. When you started speaking, I actually something just clicked. It is, how have I always seen myself? I don't see myself as a Nigerian voice for just Nigeria.
There you
I
go.
see
Now you're
myself
talking.
as so I've not been talking since all
No,
this
sorry,
speak.
sorry. I mean,
I'm
now you're
looking for
saying I mean that you're saying some things, not just so because Africans, Nigerians, any small thing, by grace, it will happen. I believe God.
no,
Yes,
no.
we get that. But
I
honey,
have
you've got
always
to do some work.
oh sorry, somebody says I had an interview with MultiChoice. They're all the
Oh,
best.
where
They
is
will
it?
call you back because you're on this call. They will call you back. Okay, Oluremi, they will call you back. Yes, when they call you, please you open the door for anybody that needs to enter there. Yeah. So I have
We do good.
always seen myself. No, let me not say always. I have grown into seeing myself
Yeah.
as beyond just my environment. I am not limited by Lagos. Lagos is too small to stop me. Nigeria is too small to hold me back. You know, what I have is not it's not to be covered and it's not to be contained. And so I allow myself just move. Do you understand? I understand myself just flow in the direction of, I don't want to say my energy, but the direction of the value that I am expelling. But it's how I
Yeah.
have seen myself. I no longer see myself, or I stopped seeing myself as a just this girl, Nigerian girl, like okay, just Nigeria. No, I believe my voice is for global stages. And so I have such an such an inflated perception of myself, but it's me and my father that are inflating it together. You get the
Yeah.
perception I have of
Yeah.
myself, it could not have been me. On my own, I'll think of myself as small. On my own, I would think of myself as small. But I'm now latched onto a bigger purpose, and there's
Yeah.
just bigger
It is about purpose
paths.
and vision. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. And so I don't
Is
see
that our
myself
lives are
as,
more useful than, a lot of people
yes,
are, what I think it is? I think it is, when we say fear, it's pride. Why do I say that? I say that because, I mean, you think it is about you, because none of this, none of this is about us. You did not decide I will be gifted with this. I will know how to do this. Like Toyosi, you did not just say, I now know how to talk. I now know how to say, I now know how to write. You were there. It was gifted to you. And so with every gifting, there is a demand. And so it is your responsibility to grow
yes.
yourself in the direction of your
Every
gifting so that
gifting, there's a
that gifting
demand.
is what will make room for you when there is none. So there's no room except as your gifting, your abilities, your skills, your talents makes it for you. And it's
Yeah.
not just about it making room for you. It is that you begin to see yourself in the light of that. So this thing that you have said about, I started to look at myself as being bigger than this and being bigger than that. And I think that is also the part I think that really interests me the most is when you said that, okay, it started off looking like, let me just be working on contracts. Okay, I can do this for other people. Then it was not like, but why is Nigeria doing this? Why then you suddenly get into the place of purpose? Because that is the only thing that leads you to purpose. Purpose is something that is bigger than yourself, where you it's almost like guiding a people, like leading a people in the light of your own gifting, your own ability. And it is the difference that you bring to the world. That's it.
Yeah.
And it's almost like something that was, you have to work your way through it. You can't, you have to work. There's no way
Yeah.
that you're going to make any
Yeah.
impact in the world except as it's in the line of your. So please share how all of this. I mean, you went quickly to essence, like see how we have traced it right back and we have come back there. So now you can go back there.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to say something quickly as you were speaking again. It crossed my mind. We need to look out for irritants. And I'll explain. We need to
Please
look out
explain.
for the things that irritate us. Now, do we know how pearls are made? Right? The oyster is there doing its own thing. And then an irritant, something irritating, like one grain of sand or something, gets into that oyster. And in a bid to either get the thing out or just protect itself or whatever it is, it starts to create things around that thing. Do you understand? It starts to create things from within around that irritant, that item that has gotten into it. And it is that thing that becomes a pearl. Wow. So I want all of us to just take time after this to go and study how pearls are made. And so when things are irritating you, don't run away from it. For me, I looked at the industry like, why do people not have contracts? I'm on my friend's sets. They called me, they said they will pay X amount. Nothing on paper. Then tomorrow the friend can say, oh, I'm not ready to shoot. Meanwhile, you've canceled from somebody else. You've told somebody you're not available because you are supposed to be somewhere. And it irritated me. And in that bid to just understand it and to just fix it, something of value came out, which is the talent agency. And it's the same thing that happened with the international angle of things, how we had an international department. I just saw that, why are we here? We don't have enough cinemas. And this problem is still ongoing. We don't have enough cinemas in Nigeria to contain movies. How many movies do you see on Netflix and Prime? In 2022, there were over 2,500 movies created. How many of them saw the light of day? When you're talking about distribution plan, like how are people going to see it? But people don't have. And I just realized they need an outlet beyond their environment. That situation became an irritant. That situation became like, how can I fix this? How can I fix this? How can I contribute to it? I may not have the full picture. I may not have the final answer, and the answer that one day will just wow, everybody is okay, everybody's fine. No. But to play my part. And so when that, in fact, it just was a casual conversation. Somebody who worked at Essence was in Lagos. And she was like, oh, Essence is happening. And I was like, oh my God, I attended Essence years ago. I loved it. Yada, yada, yada. I love you guys, what you do, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, oh, yes. And they're even starting a film festival. And I was like, hold up one second. Film festival. We have films here that have not found the light of day. We have talent here who would act shoulder to shoulder with some of these international people. It's just they don't have opportunity to go. Understand? I said, is there room for us? Because I know that Essence is for Black people. Is it for Black or is it for African Americans? And they said, it's Black. I said, Black Niwa now. We are the
We're all Black. We're actually the Black.
Most Black nation in the world. What are we doing? And that's how she was like, I love the sound of it. It makes sense. I will do an introduction. That was it. And the next thing, we're flying overseas. We are being received. People are hearing about Nollywood for the first time. People are seeing Nollywood stars for the first time, interacting. Then there are some who have been watching them and are seeing them face to face and are excited. And I'm just like, there's room. There's room beyond where we are. Let's see beyond where we are. And I mean, that's how the Essence story started.
It's very interesting to me. That first off, so what I actually believe is that when we're talking about visions and beginning, and this is like the crux of it. Why I'm spending a lot of time on this is because a lot of times people see other people and not themselves. They just feel like it's easy for you. I can't do it. This for them, so that's why I'm dwelling on this, because we will get to the obstacles and the challenges area. But there's something that you kept saying, and it just happened like a conversation. And for me, it's that time and chance. Like what are the odds that you were in that conversation? But beyond what are the odds that you were in that conversation, you were ready for those conversations. And I think that's a lot of things that people do not talk about.
Exactly.
Because sometimes some things are happening right where you are, but you are unable to contribute because you do not even have the confidence, and you feel like, and the typically comes from knowledge, either knowledge or self-worth or even appearance, behavior, communication. You do not have it. So for me, it is
Mm.
that how so were you already somewhere in your head because you're saying film festival? Did you already know about film? Did you read about film? Did you check things? What were you already doing? That because how what are the odds I just find myself in a conversation with a Hollywood star and I know exactly what to say and I know how to should I say take the conversation to just chit chatting to a business deal. Like a lot of people are in conversations that can translate, but they are there talking about fish and chips or they are there talking about bag and shoe. Meanwhile, right on that table with you is somebody that can change your entire generation's life. But
Yeah.
how to have that conversation. So how do we get because this is about bringing things to reality? How do we what do you think are the steps or what do you think are someone can begin to do to prepare themselves?
I'll say be opportunity conscious.
Hmm.
Be opportunity conscious. Wherever you're going, when you wake up, you start your day, you are thinking anything can happen.
Hmm.
You are not
Every
just
single day. Wow.
you're,
People, can
you're
you
not
hear
just
this? Like we ain't
you're not
playing.
just moving. You're not just going because there's no time. Hmm. There's no time. Oh, there's actually no time, and you have a
Yeah.
purpose. And the God
Yeah.
that placed the purpose in your heart will bring the opportunities your way.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
sometimes people's eyes are closed to their opportunities. You go somewhere where you're supposed to be talking to somebody, you're looking at the person's Brazilian hair. Oh, your shoe. Oh,
I really love
your
your
this.
hair, ma.
Love. Do you understand? And there, there, there are always opportunities. There are always opportunities, right? And make sure you develop yourself as well. Make sure you are studying. You know what is happening in your space. You are aware of
Yeah.
global trends. What is currently going on in the media space? For me, what is going on now? Who has bought who? Somebody has one company has bought one company
Yeah.
has this thing. File for the just be. It's not just social media. It's not just watching
Yeah.
videos. It's not just people are dancing, no, big brother,
Mm.
all of that. Educate yourself. Educate yourself. You never know.
Mm.
Slumdog Millionaire is a movie that just did something to me. A regular kid from the shanties of India winning, is it $1 million? Because of information that he had just gathered from different places. Do you understand? So gather information. Don't be too rigid, too stringent. Oh, it's only message I listen to. Ah, Apostle Joshua Selman. Oh, for vision for
I
Enepo is all
just
I
I
listen
just spoke
to.
the word.
Do you understand? No, educate
Mm.
yourself. You have to understand how the people and the places that you're going to, you have to understand their
Yeah.
culture, how they speak,
Mm.
how they respond, how they eat,
Wow.
all
Somebody
these
asked a
things.
question.
Develop yourself. Yes.
Somebody asked a question. How do you build that boldness? Like how are you able to build boldness? Hmm.
Boldness now regarding what? I wish I knew what this
So,
was regarding.
so
But
I'm sure that
knowledge
it's in
emboldens.
context. That's what I was going to say. Please
Knowledge,
let her know.
knowledge emboldens. Knowledge emboldens. Knowledge emboldens.
Hmm.
You will be able to speak. The reason why
Yeah.
some people stay like wallflower when they get to certain spaces is because they are not sure of what
Sure.
they don't want to say the wrong things. They don't want to,
Mm.
hey, would they laugh at me? Would they all of that? No. But if you are knowledgeable about something, you will go into that space and you will speak your mind. You will
Mm.
speak with informed, you will speak from an informed point of view. Not
Yeah.
just, oh, I just feel like, this color green, this green that they are wearing, this green,
It,
this is
it
not
can
the
it,
green.
it
Oh.
can go purple. And somebody say purple, you say no, not really
Maybe
purple.
maybe it's not popular, but what do
Maybe it's
you
not purple.
understand? Hold, stand your ground. Yes, I believe green can go with purple. I've seen it before. This person even did it. Just knowledge
Mm.
emboldens. So let's spend our time wisely. Some of us are Instagram scrollers. We scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll, and
Or
nothing
hanging
is
out with the
happening.
boys because I know that there are some men here. I know that there are some men here, and these are should I say universal principles. These are
Yeah.
principles that
Yeah.
cut across gender, sex, age, religion, color of your skin. These
Yeah.
are, standards for the world. Like, you do need to know. So I always say that know something about everything. You don't have to know
Yes.
everything about something, but know something about everything. What's happening? You're like, me, I'm not even interested in those type of things. I'm like, yeah, don't worry
Know
until the day
something.
that,
Yes.
yeah, because look at
Yeah.
what you said. You said something about, you know, um, just having, film festival. Oh, I know about this. There was conversation. Oh, I New Orleans. Oh, I know. I like this. I like what you guys do. Essence. That it means that you are interested. You actually know. So I find that conversations
Yes.
are easier
Yeah.
when it comes from a place of fluidity. When it doesn't come across like you are trying
Yes.
intentionally
It's
to
not
do something.
forced.
It's not forced. You're
It's not
just gisting. You're just
forced.
having it.
It's not
Yeah.
forced. It's not forced. I want to also say though that start developing yourself to become an expert on something. At least let there be one topic that you can do a master class on. Let there be that one thing. Some of you may not be there yet, but just keep that in mind. 4 or 5 years from now, yes, I'm knowledgeable. I know different things. But what is that one thing that you will now be the thought leader on? When people are thinking of painting, you come to mind first. When people from time to time on my page, I ask, "Oh, does anybody know a crash in Lagos, or does anybody know a whatever it is?" I noticed that there are always some names that are repeated.
Mm,
Like different people are saying the name over and over and over again. So that person has become the point person for that
mm.
space. Do you
Yeah.
understand? So over time, just grow to become. I mean, if you're thinking identity conversations now, we're thinking YBB. We'll start from there first. Do you get? There are others as well, but we know her as I can have a session with her and leave enlightened. So choose your own, just grow yourself in
Mm,
your own
yeah.
space. You don't
Yeah.
really choose the space chooses you.
Yeah.
But
You're
just
chosen. Yeah. Yeah.
grow in that space. Don't be basic. Don't stay basic. Grow.
I mean, it's very interesting, and thank you for actually saying that, because and when we use the word masterclass, please know that it's used loosely. There's work that you have to put in to become a master. I see so many things. Obviously, in our world of today, people that have just learned one thing, what they've not even finished learning it, they've not used it in their life, but they are
Learning
teaching it. They've not
it.
even that they're already teaching, and you would know in the depth of it, in that if somebody throws you a completely different question that has not, but it's links to that, you should be able to still find an answer for them. That shows how grounded you are in a thing, and it's okay. So that you don't have to be ashamed or feel like, I don't know it. It is that you are growing. There are things that I knew, that I didn't know 5 years ago, that I have grown into knowing now. And so there's so many things, experiences, challenges, obstacles, growth, people, things that grow us, that teach us our way. And so it is that we should not, honestly, it's pride to think that you cannot be taught, to think that you cannot learn, to think that you cannot unlearn or throw some things away. No, it is pride. It is that we are alive,
Yep.
every day. We are learning a new thing. Sometimes even the things that you thought you knew, they take on a new life. So for instance, I was saying that,
Yep.
I always say it, especially if you have kids, or just look at kids. A child of 6 months, you can easily tell the difference with a child of 6 months and a child of 4 months. But a child of, should I say, 16 years, or an adult of 35 years, you cannot tell the difference with an adult of 35 years and an adult of 37 years. It doesn't mean that growth is not happening. The fact that you can't see it doesn't mean, because if you can, I mean, when we are really small, if 1 month is different from 6 weeks, then you should know that anything can happen. So just this small, what you perceive as small knowledge, if you use it, you work with it, you grow with it, you will not believe how it will expand your life, your outlook, and the opportunities that you present yourself for. I always say that opportunities sometimes, a lot of times when they happen, they know that you are ready. It's like all of your
Yep.
life has been waiting for you. So that person that came to you that time is because you were ready for it. That's
Yep.
where the providence, the
Yep.
God factor, whatever you want to call it,
All of
comes
that.
into play. But that doesn't happen except you have done some work. It's not just, please, how
Yeah.
did we now move? So we've not done all of the essence and all of the things. I mean, you shared something recently online about moving to your own like office, that you had been doing like a shared office type thing. First off, this is my question. How and why did you feel like, you know what, this is because a lot of people sometimes don't know how to take the leap, don't know how, when some things have expired, don't know when should I say yes or when should I say no, when should I say this is my next step or this is my next move. That's the first thing. The other thing is that, no, you know what, let you take that before I go I go into that.
Yeah, I mean, even moving into an office space, the
Mm,
co-working space that we worked from, because we were there
yeah.
for years, off and on, it just made sense to have the team together in one space. And co-working spaces are convenient because
Mhm.
everything is covered. You're not buying
Yeah.
diesel, you're not buying paying for NEPA, you're not paying for Wi-Fi, all of that. It's just very convenient, right? So, I mean, I was like, you know what, why not? Let's meet there, let's have our meetings there, let that be our office. And then we went remote and then came back again to the office space. And like I shared one day, I was just like, I have envisioned that good media as, and my husband is just God bless him, I would walk into an estate, right, and I would say, ah, I can see that good media owning this estate. This
Wow.
building is for PR. This block is for publishing. We don't have a publishing arm yet too. This block is
Wow,
for
that's
production.
incredible.
This I walk
Yeah.
into an estate, so not a building, an actual estate, and
Hmm.
sort of just own that estate in my spirit and just own it and
That's
just be like,
wild.
you know what, media is vast, so we need space. Do you understand? And so that day I'm thinking, I'm like, how will I enter my estate if I don't have my own office?
Hmm.
Is it from co-working space I will enter my estate? Let's start, even if it's room and parlor, we'll start from
Hmm.
there and then we'll graduate and we'll move. But I know that I have seen as far as my eyes can see right now, and it continues
Hmm.
to expand, and I'm thankful for that. I've seen just how much value, thank you, no, that's different, how much value that good media is going to give, and
Hmm.
how much that value is going to attract.
Hmm.
And I'm going with it. I'm going with
You
it.
know, it's again, we're back to the same thing. For someone that asked this kind of question, said, what should be one's mindset through the season of growth and learning? It is your
That's my
mindset.
girl, by the way.
Do you want to ask? Do you want to answer that?
No, no,
Then
no,
I'll say
please go
something.
for it. No, but that's
So
my
it
that's
is.
my girl.
So she said, what should one's mindset be during a season of growth and learning? I think again, we started when we started these conversations. It is just honestly, first of all, be comfortable where you are, right? And stillness is a real thing, where you are not distracted by what they are saying, what they are doing, how they are doing it, what they are saying, because those things would sometimes distract you. In When you are in a place of learning, it is to stay almost like malleable, to be there and receiving, being curious. And we've said all of these things here, that being curious and say, okay, this one, keep it, take it, don't make an immediate judgment, give it time, let it reveal itself to you, either in maybe somebody says this, or then you see an opportunity there, like, let me try this. Is to be open in your approach generally, and to know that everything that has come to you in that moment, it is yours.
Yeah,
Anything that, so for instance, what you said, like, in the moment of, okay, we want to have a co-shared, like a shared office, that was what came to you in that moment, and it was yours, and it's okay. Because if you check the books, you have to also be, I mean, let's be realistic. That's why sometimes, you talk about affirmations and things like that, but you also need to be wise in what it is that if you're looking at your bottom line and you're looking at it and say, how much am I spending on this? What does that look like on my costs? What does that look like on my, on my expenses? At the end of the day, how much am I making a profit? Am I in this for
Yep.
the for them, or really in this for profits? Am I an NGO? Let's know that we're NGO, So in those moments, what comes to you, when it came to you, it is yours. So you analyze it and say, this looks fine, and it works. In another moment, something else comes to you. You don't shoo it away, which is what a lot of us do. Me care, who am I to do? Is first of all, receive it now. Receive it and analyze it. Look at it and say, what if I do this? What if I do that? If I do this, then you check, then you ask questions. And before you know it, you will realize that you already have capacity for it. But if you are even too afraid, or too, should I say, judgmental as a person, you cannot even be curious in anything. So, there's something that you said. I got distracted by a message now from you. So there's something that you said. You talked about, going into a building and saying this. I don't know that everybody can have that type of boldness. I don't know.
Going into an estate.
Yeah, I just say, why can't we just have it? Even as you said it, even me, I'm like, I don't know that I would do that. so that some people don't feel as if, hey, I'm not doing it. I feel like all of those things are locked in your personality, are locked in who you are already given to you, are already yours. It is already who you are. You are big in your outlook. You are big in your relationships. You are passionate in how so the way that you visualize is who you are. And so a lot of times, sometimes it is not that all of us have to have this, all of us have to have that. It is that you first of all even know yourself, and you walk your journey, walk your path, grow in your gifting, so that you don't feel pressured like, hey, some people are, because of that, gone to buy G-Wagon when they've not even they're still living in rented apartments, but they're like, I need to dream big. How do we
Yeah, so that's dreaming big. And to just add to the question of what is my position or my posture during growth? I think that's how she put it. Yes. Embrace discomfort. Okay. Embrace discomfort, because growth will stretch you.
Yeah.
Growth will stretch you. And the human tendency is to run from anything that is just anyway. Yeah.
Please, I don't like it. Please, I'm not soft life. There's a balance. Soft life, please. This thing is too tough.
I don't want. Do you get?
I can't do it.
No, but you have to just take that discomfort, because you will stretch, and that thing will no longer be a discomfort anymore. You will grow with that stretch. So your mindset during seasons of growth and learning is, I am taking on new things that I don't know, new things that I didn't know before now. I may be embarrassed. I shared something that one of your guests is going to be, who is joining you, Dr. Foy. I shared something that he had written. He said, you have to be comfortable with getting embarrassed. Like, people run away from embarrassment. I don't want to be embarrassed, so I beg, let me not grow. That's really what it is. That's really what it is. But embrace discomfort. Stretch. I always say that I'm not stressed. I'm not being stressed, I'm being stretched. Yeah. Right? When it's now becoming stress, I can tell. But a lot of the time, it has been a stretching, a stepping into an office, a space that I was not before. I was not there before. And now I have to just adjust and grow. Lest I be kicked out, lest they say you're actually not ready for this level. May that not be us. by the grace of God. Yeah.
This thing that you have said about stretching, a lot of times people are afraid of breaking. They don't know that stretching is another option. It
Yeah.
is that stretching is actually an option. We just
Yeah.
think, break, but there's
Too
something
much.
in the
Yeah.
middle that is much more than breaking,
Yeah.
because stretching, you do not know the extent.
Absolutely.
You have no idea how much you can stretch, but you have to give yourself to that process of pressing, which
You
is
have
what you
to
have.
stretch. Yes. You
Yeah,
have to stretch
yeah,
to
you
know
have
how
to
much you
be.
can stretch.
Yeah, you have to, and the whole concept of even stretching is that the reason you're stretching is that you're trying to get either away from or get into. So as you're getting away from something, you're getting into something else.
Into
It's
something. Yep.
yeah, so you're stretching like away, but you're stretching into. So it's that there are
Yeah.
just so many these things that you have said. I think that it just takes us directly into challenges and obstacles. And this person has said something about how do you get career clarity when you have worked for different management styles or departments. Career clarity. I mean, do you want to take that, Toyosi, please?
I don't think career clarity has much to do with management styles.
So she
I think
feels
those
like I
are,
don't know. Go ahead.
I mean, those are two different things, in my
So maybe
opinion,
what
who
I
are
see,
separate. Yeah.
what I see is maybe the person is saying that you have worked with different types of um people, or like organizations take on a personality. So you may feel like this, because of this type of personality, that's why my career is I'm going towards this. And I'm just going to
Right.
use, yeah, off the top of my head to explain what this can be and how do you get career. And I'm just going to throw it away and say it's not about really career clarity, it's about life clarity. Who do you want to be?
Exactly. It's more about
So it's
you
really about
first.
you. Who do you want to be? What is important to you and why? Where are you going? It is that you, like Chelsea has even said, that there's some things that you just feel, there's a discomfort here. And it's not just a discomfort of stretching, it's a discomfort that feels like you are going to die. Like if I want more, this is death. Like I can't, I'm unhappy. They're different. So it's not about career clarity, it's about life clarity. What do you want to be? What is important? Who are you? And how does that make a difference? So it's that you have to go back. And guys, let me quickly say this here. You know that there are task sheets, and that's something about these conversations, deeper with YBB conversations. What we do is I also like create task sheets that can help you to go back. They're like introspective questions that you can go back to after our conversation, and you can download it. It's in your emails. You can go check, and then I would also put up the link at some point here, so I'll put it in the comment section so you can tap on it, so you can go back and ask yourself some questions, sit with yourself, because self-introspection, there's nothing that beats it. You have to tell yourself the truth. Even if we say, do this, do that too, we are not in your living room, we are not in your bedroom. We don't know whether after all of this, tomorrow when you hear this is happening in that place, you will not still sleep. See, it's all in your hands. Who you want to be, you already are. Is your responsibility to decide to take the steps, baby steps towards it. So I'm going to somebody says, how do I deal with procrastination, inconsistency, lack of self-confidence? I think that this is also what it is that we're saying. There are just certain things that you have to put in place for yourself. I always say set yourself up to succeed. What do you procrastinate about, for instance? So how important is this thing? Sit with yourself and say, if this thing doesn't happen, what difference does it make in my life? Maybe the thing is actually not that important. Because if it is really important, have you been at crossroads when they say, do this or this will happen, you will make it happen? Procrastination will
Yeah.
fly out the bush. So it is not that, it is how much value or importance we place on things. Inconsistency. Again, there's just so many ways to look at it. How is your quality of life? And who have you put around you? You also need a support system. Like Toyosi has said, you have to have people that you can lean in towards, people that can remind you of something. I am sometimes, like, I think I was working with a woman one time and she was talking about how she's a busy executive. She wants to create more time for her children and that she's been trying to do it. And I said, okay, have you ever told yourself, I'm going to have, she said, I said it now that next week. I said, next week, did you give it a time? She said, yes. I said, maybe like next week, 5 o'clock. I said, okay. So did you look at that next week and say, what is the easiest time in my schedule? When is it that I don't have? Set yourself up to succeed. So you want to make time for your kids. Okay, that's fine, but you're in meetings every week. Look at your schedule and say, which day is it that I don't have a meeting? Don't go and put that meet up with your children on the day you have a meeting. It won't happen. Set yourself up. So look at it and say, okay, I'm freer on Thursdays. Not just I'm free on Thursdays, between this time and this time. Okay, I can forget. What are the things that can happen that can cause it? If Mr. B calls me, that means that I can't do it. So which day is it that Mr. B is most likely not to call me? Set yourself up to succeed. Like, take it one by one and ask yourself the questions that are pertinent to your success, and set yourself up to succeed in those things, right? So Toyosi, please, I want us to get into this part, because I feel like it's one of the most critical. For you, what would you say have been the greatest obstacles that you have faced in this journey of purpose? Like, in this journey of, I'm living a life of impact, I'm living a life of influence. And give us like two top
The
things
biggest,
that you feel like are
yeah.
like obstacles that you feel like, hey, and you were, and should I say unexpected?
Well, unexpected would be tough. I think my biggest obstacle has been me.
What do you
I
mean?
think I could have done this. I could have done this sooner. I could have taken the leap sooner. There were a lot of talks in my head. Do you understand? I remember when the whole, I think, was it the Essence thing, when it happened, there was a time I was like, it shouldn't be me doing this. It should be
Mm,
X. I was actually thinking of people who I thought were better suited to do this. So there was a lot of negative talking in my head to
mm,
myself, and that I now had to address and deal with. So that for me is the biggest obstacle. Every other thing, in my opinion, is secondary. The money will come as long
mm.
as you are
It's funny that
aligned.
you said, did you see somebody's comment about, does it have anything to do with money? Somebody said this, and you just said the money will come.
The money will come. The money will come as long as you are in the right space. You are not doing more than yourself. I did not come now and say, you know
That.
what? It's Banana we're going to. This office
Mm,
has to be in Banana or Eco
mm,
Atlantic. Picked a
mm,
spot within budget and started carpenter, oh yeah, do what you can do. Do you understand? So
yeah,
we are our biggest obstacles. I used to hear people say this thing
yeah.
before, and I'm sure somebody here is saying, this is what they always say. This is
This
what
thing, I
it
beg, how?
truly is the truth. Once you can get dominion over your thoughts, once you can subject or subdue every negative thought and just flood your mind with light and ask, why not me? Why not me? If the thing is saying why you say, why not me? Why not
Mm,
me? Ah,
exactly.
do you understand? People are doing it. So why not me? Why can't I do it? So I have in the past been my biggest obstacle. Um, Other obstacles I would say are just a knowledge gap as well. We talked
Yeah,
about knowledge, right? A
yeah.
knowledge gap, not knowing something and being like caught in that space of I have to make a decision now. What am I doing? You know, so building myself up, but also partnering with people who know things, partnering with people who can bring or prefer the solutions required for that to close that gap. Because there's the gap between where you are and where you want to be. You need to
Mm,
figure out how to cross that gap, how to bridge that gap, or how to close the gap. And it's usually a knowledge thing. It's usually, I don't know.
mm,
And once you get to an I don't know space, you either educate yourself. For some people, it's I don't know how to oversee 5 employees. What am I telling 5 people to do? Something that I used to do on my own. Do you understand? So you may need leadership skills. You may need like leadership courses. Um, I got an HR consultant. I shared that recently because I knew that there had to be some structuring and
mm,
restructuring of the company, and I was not skilled in that. So I got somebody who could handle that. So I'll say the biggest obstacle, your thoughts, your mind, all those voices that want to come and oppress you and silence you and tell you you're not good enough. And then two, knowledge gap, right? The knowledge gap. Close that gap either by upgrading yourself or by getting someone who understands what you don't
Yeah.
understand to cover that blind spot for you. Yeah.
Interesting. Thank you so much for that. I mean, thank you so much for so many things. And we're going to be rounding up in a few. And this, I think you answered this person's question before she asked it. How do you overcome being your own obstacle, especially when it comes to self-doubt and self-sabotage? And, she was talking about I think that we underestimate what knowledge does for us. We underestimate what knowledge does for us. Knowledge sets you, on a pedestal, like you just become more sure. And that's where you get more like self-confidence, the things that you know, the things that you're able to do. It's that the more valuable we are, the more valuable you are, the more confident you become. The more
Yeah.
confident you become. So it is really about revving up, like pulling up your own values. Like it's like you're giving yourself extra points. Like, what can I
Yeah.
do to become more valuable? What do I have to do to be more valuable? And the more valuable you are, the more that you are able to serve. And if you start thinking that, this is really not about me, I think that we need to drop the whole self consciousness. This is not really about me. This is about me sharing and gifting what has already been given to me. This is about me
Yes.
valuing everything that I have in my hands. And I'm saying, what am I doing with it? That, we know that there is an end to life, and that there is an
Yeah.
end. We cannot just live our lives like there's nothing more. We're just living day in day. I mean, how
Yeah.
can you not
Yeah.
have a vision, a purpose, a life goal? Like, I need to do this for other people, because there's a few things that can keep us fulfilled. You started with something, you said there's a certain, when we started talking, you said when you found yourself in the place where you were like in media and all of that, that there was a certain sense of fulfillment, a satisfaction. And those things can only come when you are in the place of assignment, when you're in the place of gifting talent, the one that has already been given to you. And so in
Yep.
that place, it is that when you find yourself in that place, you do everything to grow. You do everything because
Mm.
there is niching. And that's where sales, marketing, branding, and all of those things come in. And those things are standard for life, that you are only able to niche, to brand, to whatever, when you have
Yep.
identified, where am I great at,
What? Yep.
what
Yep.
value can I bring,
Yep.
what is my difference, and how does it make it, how does it make room for me in the world? And so that is, I think that that's where we need to be in terms of self-sabotage, self-doubt. There are actual practical things that you can do. um
Yeah.
we are rounding up now. If you have any more questions, please put the questions in. I typically would do, like, this is maybe about 90 minutes type conversations, because there's so much more that we need to do on our own. So
Yeah.
the point of these conversations, deeper conversations, is that we actually hear them as they are, and it resonates with us, and we can go back and say, put your name in and say, what do I need to do now?
Yeah.
So what's my own part? What do I need to do now? In the next couple of days. And typically so deeper webinars are free, they're complimentary, but they are before. I have a course that I do every year, once a year. It's called Magnetism 10X. And I lead with deeper conversations, because I feel like deeper is for everyone. Magnetism may not be for everyone, and that's fine. So it's also like my sort of like gift to you at this time, to have people that are, that have walked a certain way and are still walking, to
Mm.
let you know that it's not, there's no 1 + 1 is equal to 2. This is the answer. You know, this is the answer. It is that we're all finding our way, but you find your way as it has been given to you. So it is that you have to have a sort of self-knowledge. You have to know yourself. You have to master some certain things. Then you have to, be able to recreate yourself day in, day out, and say, you know what, this is where I need to be now. This is what I need to give myself to. This is where I need to withdraw from. This is what I recreate yourself, and then you sell yourself anew. We are in the business of selling ourselves. That's what we are here to do. To present yourself and say, okay, this is, and when I say sell yourself, you're selling yourself is in value, is in the value that you bring. So all of these words, branding, marketing, digital, all of those things, they are supposed to help you in the world, to be seen, to be heard. But for what reason? So that you can influence, and that you can impact, and so that you can really find fulfillment. Because outside of gifting, sharing, being, doing, fulfillment will be hard. It will just be going around in circles. Money would not be enough. So it's not about acquiring. So
Yeah.
you may think that it's because I don't have money. Have it now and don't use it for anything tangible. You will see that somewhere there will still be a hollow. We can only be, and that's how our lives have been structured. That it is in. That's why each one of us has been gifted. We're gifted differently. Somebody says something which I want you, Toyosi, to answer. It says, how do you pick a particular skill set amongst many other giftings that you can offer to the world? Because handling all of it has turned to distractions. And so you're almost ineffective in everything. So how do I know that, okay, this is what I want to share at this point? This is what I want to give to the world at this point. I mean, you said some things that are vital already. So if you don't mention them, I would remind you.
When things like this happen, I always say have a base skill set, right? And now you're asking, like, how do you pick that particular skill set? I feel like I'm tempted to say the one that has the most opportunities in a moment that you are able to serve, that you are able to give value to. So, say, for example, you can sing, you can design, you can dance, and then in a moment, what is required is design, for example, let's say fashion designing. And this opportunity just comes and you will become the most valuable person for that project. I would say give yourself wholly to that project. Do you understand? See it through. Somebody comes and says, oh, I need 350 sketches right now. And then you want to use your own money to go and pay in a studio to go and sing a song and all of that. Meanwhile, these sketches are a source of income for you in that moment. I
Lowest
personally
hanging
will
fruit.
say,
Yeah.
look, thank you. Pause everything. What is making sense now?
Now.
What is making sense now? And please don't be afraid to interrogate your actions or your options. Don't be afraid to interrogate your options. Okay, there's singing here, there's dancing here, there's acting here. Singing, pros and cons. Acting, pros and cons. The last one, pros and cons. Do you understand? And then just be still. And I would go with what my spirit has received, what my gut feeling has received. And sometimes it's not even jumping at the lowest hanging fruit. Sometimes it's
Yeah.
the other one, and one is a
Yeah.
distraction. But
Yeah.
just interrogate first and then be
Yeah.
still. Question it and then be still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing. That's really amazing. Thank you for sharing that. You said something when you were talking about when you were I'm going back to the contracts, when you were looking through your husband's contracts and all that, and then people started asking you, oh, help me do this, help me do that, help me do this. I'm going to take a cue from that, and it is that a lot of times we say this is what I want to give to the world, but is that what the world needs from
Mm,
you in that time? So I always say that it's not really, again, that is pride, and that's it's being about you. So it's not really about you. Again, it's about what is needed in the world. What problems are you solving? What solution are you? So it's not just that, oh, I can sing or whatever. At that point, or at this time, if there's another demand on you for a gifting, a skill, an ability that you have, please gift that in that moment, because that's what is demanded of you, and you would know in the response to it. You would know. And so when I say response to it, it's not necessarily that it will be an outpouring, but it's that you will never really be completely discouraged, because just when you're about to be discouraged, you see another light and you're like, so just
yeah.
follow that light, keep following it. Let me use an example. And if anyone knows me, they know that I have been a day one fan before all of these new farms that started coming. All of these new people that are, like Ashake, for instance. Everybody knows that that's my fave. And so, something like he could sing, he could dance, very good with fashion and all of those things. But what happened is that, music always gave him the most joy. Like music was always that thing, but music wasn't working. While music wasn't working, he was backing up. he was dancing, he was doing choreography, he was learning this and that, and he continued doing the music on the side. But there was a major thing that was giving him, should I say, funding. And because you have to be stable as a person. So, and especially for a man, someone like that, I'm sure he was thinking, I have so many. The African man is completely a different kettle of fish. He has to provide for this, provide for that. And then he's talking about, oh, I just want to be doing this. Please do what is profitable at that time, but that demands of you a talent, a skill that you already have. So it's that you are also wise and you're circumspect in the things that you're doing. Yeah, somebody says, I think I'm going to take this as a final question. How do you, because I feel like this is something that Toyosi is really gifted in. This is a final question because we have to round up tonight. If not, you guys, we can be here talking from now to tomorrow. I'm going to leave you so that you can go, and there's so much that we have said. The replays are going to be up. The replays are going to be up, so you can go and watch it. Then remember the task sheet. Oh, that's true. I said I was going to put the task sheet there. So the task sheet so that you can work through it and all of that. So, Toyosi, please look at this question. It says, how do you create quality and meaningful relationships? Because this is important in visioning, bringing vision to life, in just generally leading a life of purpose. How do you do this?
So I think you have to set the standards for yourself first. You have to know who the kind of people that you want in your life, how they are. And then you start off by knowing yourself first. I feel like people use relationships as crutches. People use relationships to support.
That's so powerful. Oh my goodness. What?
People use relationship as support, and relationships are supposed to be mutually beneficial. They're supposed to be symbiotic, not parasitic. So if you find that you have attracted parasites, people who are just leeching on you and want something from you all the time, you need to check yourself. If you find that you are also a parasite and you are sucking, and you're not giving value, check yourself. So it starts with self-awareness. It starts with just, man, know thyself. That's what Socrates said. Know yourself first, develop yourself first, become a bit more before you now start seeking, because you would attract the people that are meant to be in your life. You would attract your circle. As you become, you attract your circle. You will let some people go. You know that this is no longer serving me. This relationship is not serving me. I should not even be in this space anymore. So start with yourself first. Do the inner work, and the right people will come to you. You would find yourselves, even in a crowd. You will find yourself.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you so much for sharing that. I think that to round that up, like what you said, people, again, we need to take more responsibility. It's not just about finding people, it's about becoming the person that you want to find. Are you that person?
Exactly.
You want a relationship that's this. I want somebody that's this, that takes care of, that is loyal, that's whatever. Do you do that? Excuse me. Excuse me. I just had a whiff of something.
Sorry. Do you want butter?
Yeah. Oh, my water is
Yeah,
actually here.
butter around you.
Yes, I do. I just don't want the branding to show. So it is important. And I think it's the same thing. This person talks about investments, contracts, is that a relationship is a relationship is a relationship. Whether it's a business relationship, a platonic relationship, a love interest, it is that, you must have similar values. You must be on the same page. What do you want from a relationship? What do I want from this relationship? What am I willing to give to it? What are you willing to give? Does it work? Can two work together except we
Except they
agree?
agree.
So if we don't agree, there's no point. Whether I think that we always give things big names. A relationship is a relationship. It's between man and woman, girl and boy, young and old. Is a relationship. Does it work? Are you giving me, like Toyosi said, is it symbiotic? Or are you just leeching on me? Is that what I want? Because some people don't mind people to be leeches because they have, insecurity issues. But it's that is a toxic place to be, and you will grow. And you will have to get to a point where you say to yourself, I don't want this anymore. Otherwise, you will keep attracting it. So it's left for you to say to yourself, I'm ready for growth. I'm ready, for my next. And with that, I think that, I'm just going to say that thank you first off, for being here today, Toyosi.
Thank
Thank you for
you.
your
Thank you for
time.
inviting me.
Thank you for being, of course, as truthful, as open, as genuine as you can be, as you usually are. And I think that that's one of the things that I value the most, about our relationship, is that, I mean, guys, we met online, so it's not like I know her from somewhere. But
Mm,
online is a
yeah.
place too. I want you to know that, so when you're saying all sorts of things and when you're misbehaving, just know that online is a place too. And whoever can be there, check it, because as we evolve in this world, when I was growing up, there were even no phones. So it is now online is an experience, is an environment. So
Yes.
you want to know that you're attracting people there too. So I think that I just needed to say that. And I love how, honest we can be. I don't know how to not be myself. So it's very important that the relationships that I have permit me to be myself. And I like that, we're able to say truth, to be honest, to
Yeah.
also stand for each other, stand with each other. And there's something, I mean, relationships are hard work. I always say that it's a marriage, whether it's a, friendship that you're just calling it, or think of it as something that is lifelong or something. So you have to be more intentional and more genuine about that. And I think that that's one of the things that these relationships, these conversations bring to bear, to show you that, you can have true conversations, and those things you can follow a path that is true, that is intentional, and you can have support on your way. Thank you so much, Toyosi, for being here. Is there anything that you'd like
Thank
to
you.
say? One final, should I say, if you were to sum it all up tonight, everything that you wanted to say and leave with the people, what would that be? What would
Also, I
that
think it's
be?
time for everyone, if you haven't, to just start your journey. Start your journey into purpose.
Mm,
There's no time like that. And your contribution is missing.
mm,
What you're supposed to contribute to the entire ecosystem, to humanity, is missing. Um, Yes, and the world, the whole earth awaits the manifestation of the sons of God.
you had to go
We're
there.
all we're all children of God. At least He created us, we're all His creation. So yeah, just start your journey into purpose, and it starts with you. Okay, it's not on the
Thank you
outside; it's
so
on the
much.
inside.
Thank
Bye,
you. Start your
everyone.
journey to purpose, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Lady
you.
T. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for being here tonight. I am thoroughly grateful that you joined. It's been on my heart and on my mind, to do deeper. Last year we had it earlier. This year, I was almost going to say, you know what, let's not. But I feel like it's important for you to have these conversations with yourself. So when we get off here, please go back with yourself. I'm going to leave the replay up. Go through the task sheets. If you are on Telegram with us, check your emails, the task sheets, all of those things are there. Like I said, magnetism is coming up. But before then, tomorrow, 7 p.m., we're having Ifedayo Agoro. Ifedayo is the CEO of Dang. Dang started as Diary of a Niger Girl. Of course, I'm sure you guys know that. Somebody that just started sharing her own experiences or just doing what is common to her. Before she knew what was happening, a community built. Before she knew what was happening, a business happened. Like, guys, this is real. You can start from where you are. And when I say where you are doesn't have to be a small place. Where you are can be a big place. You can already be experienced, have this all going, and want to pivot, and want to transit, and want to evolve. Those things are real, and those things are true, and those things are valid. And so tomorrow we're going to be having that conversation. I'm thoroughly excited, guys. Yes, we're having Dang tomorrow. We are having Dang. Yes, we are. So, guys, This is how we typically close out. Say thank you to everyone that you can see in the comment section. Just say thank you for being here. Thank you, Kosi. Thank you, Edafi Buru. Hey, this is your name. Ogene somebody. Ogene Rese. Did I say it properly? I don't know. But all of you. Thank you, Victory. Thank you, Chinaza. Thank you, Blessing. Thank you, Kate. Thank you, everyone, for being here tonight. Say thank you to each other. Thank you, Oluremi. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Get used to giving thanks for everything that you have received. Is in giving thanks that you find the next step, the next things to do, the awakening, the joy, the things that money cannot buy, the things that put you in a place where you are all by yourself and those ideas come and you are there and thinking how, and you're able to write it down and you're thinking who can help me, and you just have, oh, I know somebody that knows somebody before you know what's happening. You're building, you're growing, you're expanding, giving thanks. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It was an amazing session. Good night, guys. Good night. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Thank you.